Hello, welcome again. This is DCS, and we're in another episode. Okay, so with this episode, we are going to learn how to do the top up, right? So, this is an important place that we need to all understand. Okay, so kindly do your best to watch the video to the end to understand how the top up is done. Okay, so that we don't have to stress ourselves with top up issues. Okay, so this system has been designed in such a way that you're trustful, right? So you can do it at the comfort of your home, and then wherever you find yourself, whether you are sending from an agent, from your number, you can do it very simple. Okay, and you don't need to even contact customer care to do the top up for you, unless otherwise there is some issue that you need customer care to resolve. But for top up, shouldn't be anything difficult. If you face challenges, you can still contact customer care to or to ask for assistance. Okay, but this is automatic and it's something that you should be able to do it yourself without the help of anybody. Okay, unlike the old system where you send the money, then you have to contact customer care to credit your account. Okay, with this one, you send the money, credit your account yourself just by inputting the transaction ID. Okay, so we have two options. Okay, we have two options for the top up. So once this is so this is how your interface is. You scroll down, you come to wallet balance. Okay, this is wallet balance. This is where you do your top up. Okay, so to do your top up, you click on add funds. When you click on add funds, like I said, we have two options here, right? And the two options here includes the send and claim and then pay stack. Okay, send and claim and then what? Pay stack. So the send and claim, you have to send your money to the number provided below. Okay, you send your money to the number provided below, and then you enter the transaction ID received. Okay, the transaction ID in your message is what you're going to enter here, not your reference. Now if you read through, there's an instruction, okay, that has been given. So the instruction says that this payment method is for MTN to MTN users only. Send payment to this number, the name Divine Chosen Star or Isaac Adayala. Then copy transaction ID from the Momo message and claim transaction right. Transaction ID from non-MTN Momo payment will not work. So if you use Telecel to do this payment, it won't work. If you're going to use Telecel, I advise you use Paystack. Okay. If you use bank to transfer, transaction ID will not work. If you are doing bank transaction, transfer to your Momo wallet first, and then use it to use the transaction ID to what? Claim your top up. But if you use bank to transfer, use the transaction ID, it won't pick, it will not reflect. You can only contact customer care to look at it and then resolve your issue for you. Okay, so any other transaction apart from MTN to MTN, that means that you are using an MTN account, be it subscriber, agent, merchant, SIM, any of them. Once you transfer to the number and you get your receipt, your SMS message, just look for the transaction ID and input here. After input, you click on check to verify the transaction, and then you are already good to go. Okay, so that is it. So with the I think we should just do an example for you to see how it works. Okay, for you to see how it works. Okay, so I will just do a transfer to the number and then you see how it works. Okay, so if you're using subscriber, this is how subscriber transactions are done, right? So you start the process. Okay, so transfer money, right? Transfer money. So you select number one, which is Momo user, right? So you input the number there, 055. This here. Okay, so you can decide to copy the number again, and you confirm the number. then you enter the amount. So see on the side, it indicates that the minimum top up is 30 cedis. Okay, the minimum top up is 30 cedis. Now this is to avoid the 1 cedi 2 cedi top ups. In fact, on the old system or on the old website, that is what people used to do. So you see somebody loading 2 cedis, somebody even pesos. Okay, it was making our work very difficult and stressful. Okay, so now as a business person, at least you should be able to have a capital of 30 cedis, because you can't say you can load your wallet 30 cedis. I beg you. Okay, so let's all try our best to adhere so that business can move smoothly. If you load 30 cedis and then you know that, oh, I place the order, you still have your balance remains intact. Okay, your balance remains intact. Okay, so anytime at all you get an order, you come and continue placing your orders instead of having to load 1 cedi and you go and load 2 cedi. Now there's that option, you can still use paystack to do that. Okay, we don't have problem, but you bear the charges on paystack, which is 2%, because on the old system we were bearing charges of 1%. Okay, and then agent also bear 1%. But right now on paystack you bear the charges. If you are using paystack, you bear the full charges, which is 2% of the amount. So if you are sending 100 series, you will pay 2 series with paystack. Okay, but the send and claim, that one, the percentage is very low. Okay, and we have an amount. If you are sending above that amount, you wouldn't have to even pay any charges. Okay, you wouldn't have to pay any charges. All right, so let's proceed. Or let me heat up my phone small. Okay, so let's continue. I think I've gotten 7% now. All right, so you're going to do the transfer. So let me just, to make the video short, I think we all know how to do Momo transfer, right? So once you input the number like this, you just copy and then, okay, so the amount, like I said initially, the list is 30 series. You can do the top up. Okay, we might consider it later, but for now it's 30 series that currently on the site. So that's the list. You can do the top up, and the site gives clear description. Okay, so once you enter your reference, then you confirm the name. So you confirm the name is the Divine Chosen Star, right? So with this one, then you go ahead to so let me approve with my pin, right? So I have approved, right? As I've approved, you see that I've gotten a feedback message from the payment I made. Okay, with the transaction ID. So this is the transaction ID down here. So you see transaction ID. This is the number I'll copy. Okay, I'll just click like this, copy the number. So if the same phone you are using, it's very easy, very simple. But if it's a different phone, you have to input the transaction ID there on the site. So after copying the transaction ID, when you come to the site, you just tap and hold, then you paste it. I've pasted the transaction ID, right? Okay, so if, like I said, from a different phone, you have to input the transaction ID here manually. Okay, now this is the conditions I was telling you. So you see the minimum top up is here. Kindly read and understand. The minimum top up is here. So if you send 20 series, the transaction ID when you use it will not go through. The system will tell you that the minimum order is, the minimum top up. Okay, the minimum top up is 30. Okay, and not 20. Okay, so you input the transaction ID and then you click on verify. Now the other one too I was talking about too was top ups above 300 series. So you see top ups above 300 series attracts no fee on the site. So there's no top up charges when you are loading above 300. So you see it here. Okay, now loading above 300, we said there's no top up fee because DCS has taken the charges, okay, for agents who load above 300. We might look at it also whether to reduce it to maybe 200. Okay, but for now it's 300 that is on the site. So DCS is taking the charges for those loading above 300. So if you're loading above 300, the system will not charge you for loading the 300 cities and above. Okay, so that is how it is. So like, hello, so this is a continuity from where we stop, okay, on the top up, right? So now we're going to do the transfer. So assuming you're using the subscriber sim or your personal line, that's the subscriber, right? So the star 170 hash, so you click on transfer, then you select Momo user, okay. So you enter the number on the site 055915269 okay. Then you enter the amount. So we already mentioned that the minimum is what, 30 cedis. So you enter the amount. So it doesn't mean anytime at all you want to load, you should load 30 cedis. So you can load more. You can load. I think we will settle the top up without the claim charges is 300 cedis and above. Okay. So if you can afford to load the 300, it saves you some cash, right? When you are loading the 300, it means that you won't pay any top up fees, okay, on the site. So the claim comes with charges, and then when you are loading, you see the charges, which is 0.3%, okay, which is very, very low, right? So let me approve this payment, and then we'll do the claim and see. Okay, so the payment has been made, right? The payment has been made. So you just need to go to your SMS, copy the transaction ID, and then you check on the website, okay, and verify it and claim. Okay, if you're also doing the payment from your agent sim or your merchant sim, the same thing. You just go to the SMS, get the transaction ID, and then use to claim your wallet, okay. So basically that's how it works. So let's copy the transaction ID and then proceed to the website. So this is the transaction ID, right? So let me just copy it here. Okay, so copy. So after copying the transaction ID, you come back to the website. You just go to add funds. You click on transaction, what's the name, claim, and then where you are to input the transaction ID, you just quickly paste it there, right? So if you send from a different phone, you just have to input it, okay. So you just type the transaction ID. After typing it, then you click on check, okay, to verify the transaction ID. So you see that as I did the transaction, then I click on check, it has verified. Okay, so the first information says that payment found. So when the payment has been found, then review details. So this is the claim. So like I was saying, because I'm doing 30 series, which is the lowest amount, there is claim fee of what, 0.3%. okay, for the system we are using for the claim, that is their charges. Okay, that is their charges. So note that this charges is not for DCS. This charges is for the system we are using for the claim, okay, top up, which is very easy for top up transactions, okay, and everything is done by yourself. You don't need to contact customer care to get this done, unless of course you try and then you are not able to load. Okay, maybe there's a network issue or problem somewhere, just let customer care check it out for you, okay. So now let's claim it, okay. So you click claim, okay. So you see payment claimed successfully, your wallet has been credited with this amount. So now you see my wallet has increased, okay. So simple as that. That is how the send and claim works, okay. No third party assistance needed here. Once you just send the payment, you click on claim and you're good to go, okay. So that is it about the send and claim. So the next thing with the what's the name, the top up, is a pay stack. So for the pay stack, we are already familiar with the pay stack. So once you input the amount, so let's say I want to top up 100 series, you click on pay with pay stack, then you do the authorization, right? However, like I said earlier, pay stack now, their charges is 2% from those days, from the beginning, okay. But on the old system, we were bearing 1% of the charges, and then the agent bear 1% of the charges, okay. So now the best system that we have seen that it works best is the send and claim. So we advise, all agents are advised to use that system. But if you still insist, or if you still proceed that you want to use the pay stack system, you are good to go, okay. It also works. you're good to go. Just that one, sometimes your transaction might be suspended. You do the payment and then Paystack will not automatically credit. You have to contact customer care to credit your account, which really takes time. Okay, so but whichever way works for you, you are good to go. But I advise the send and claim option. Okay, because that one is quick and it does not need any third-party assistance for you to credit your wallet. Okay, you're good to go. So basically that is it about the top up, right? So there will be another video on other aspect of the website just for us to get familiar with it, and then we can start using it. Okay, so for now, thank you. See you in the next episode.